Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daily High on this special Friday episode with your hosts, Tone Vase and Matt McGregor. How are you, mate?
I'm good. I'm good. The dive yesterday was awesome. Maybe I'll pull up a quick screen share of the dive site. I got to get an underwater camera or something, man. I saw an Amori eel. My instructor saw a giant bull shark. I'm glad I didn't see that, but it was fun.
Oh, I love to see you excited about something. Maybe this show will migrate into a diving show at one point when Bitcoin
Yeah.
gets boring.
And then I sucked my air so quickly. Like we came up after 35 minutes or something. And then we're like, then we have to like float on top of the ocean in the middle of nowhere for like 15, 20 minutes for the boat to pick us up. It was like that movie. It was like, oh fuck, this is not good. I'm like, hey, how far away is that bull shark? Because now that we're floating, we're not under there. He's like, yeah, it's the great whites you got to worry about. They come through every now and then. I'm like, oh fuck, what am I getting myself into here?
Oh shit. Well, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. All right, I'm gonna go through the charts real
All right,
quick
let's go.
in bullet time. Look at this. Look, I'm still in that trade from yesterday at 93,279. Really happy with the trade, but give me one second. I'm trying these little I quit smoking and everything, right? But I'm trying these little patches you put up in your thing that like they release nicotine, and they're very horrible. Anyway, look, the price is where it is, right? Like it's exactly what we said yesterday. We did come up in yesterday's show and retouched on the seven simple moving average. It hasn't cracked through it yet. So we're still in a liminal space between two trades. If you didn't get in like I did at a lower spot, I'd be cautious getting along here. But as I go down the time frames, I'm going to go down it today. I think that there's something to notice, and I think that there is a trade on if we can just break through slightly higher than we are right now. But the weekly, if you got in low, brilliant. There's no reason to sell. Ride it out. But if you're looking for a trade right now, don't know. Don't know about that. I still really like. See how the copy curve is starting to. I said this like it's drawing down. If we were to tread sideways for another 2 weeks and stay below 100,000, this thing will be down at zero minus one, and we can cross over and really kick off strongly. So I'm not in a hurry for us to break out. I'm absolutely happy if we do, but this is what I wanted. I needed when it was up here at plus 3.5. It really needed a cross after that massive run up, and now it's getting some space. So I don't mind this at all. Don't mind where we're looking. I'm loving the trade I'm in right now, breaking down the time frames. This is the same thing on the daily, and as we get lower, I told you some more spatial interest will come into the market. But we closed above the 50. Brilliant. Today has done nothing except it's dropped back down. But we didn't. I thought there's a possibility we'll come all the way back down and retest the breakout point and retouch on the seven. We didn't. So I'm very happy with that. This candle could absolutely go green and give us a green star candle like it did earlier in the morning. But I think that there's a high probability when markets open today, this thing turns green. It might even do it right in this shot, right? We're kicking off a bit right now. The price is rallying, but it's erratic. I think that this has got a great chance to get above, but we still need to get above the 30. We still need to get above the previous local high at 99,250. I think that we'll do it. I think that we got a high chance to do it. I really like, that where the copy curve crossed on the daily, fantastic low spot, great trade there. I really like, as I mentioned yesterday, we broke above the moving average on the EMA. We came back and retouched on the 50, had a slight, you know, kind of rejection, which is normal to have. But once we start putting in, a higher low on I use the EMA the same way I would on charts. Like it's like lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, and then a higher low. It's exactly the same. Think of the EMA as you would just pure charting, and it will work out at the same time. It's a really good sign. I really like where the copy curve is rounding. Again, it's building up momentum, and hopefully we can get a nice bang cross, bang, 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 bang. That's what we want. So the daily for me, I've got no problem with it. And Tone, it's going to be really interesting if you're still in your waiting posture, or if you're bearish posture, or if you're coming around on this move. Oh, I can't wait to see it. The 12 hour. Uh, this is the first. sign of a bullish move for me. Like it took the weekly, the daily. There wasn't the alphanumerics bullish cross yet, but this thing's eminent on the 12 hour, which is really good because you have to get the 12 hour before you get the daily and the weekly and whatnot. But that's just the first part. The 12 hour is the highest time frame where this is rounding into a bullish cross on alphanumerics. Good stuff. 4 hour time frame. We had a fantastic MRI top, which when it loads, you can see it right here. Come on, MRI. There it is. Bang. Fantastic MRI top, right? Are we in a 1 to 4 candle correction? Well, as it stands right now, I suggest that we are. It does look like on the 4 hour, if we start to get above, 97 300, then that's a really, really textbook MRI top on the 4 hour, 1 to 4 hour, a 1 to 4 candle correction, but with further upside in pursuit. And I hope that that does happen. I'll let Tone continue on that. Uh, as I go down even further, dig deeper into the weeds, the 1 hour time frame. This is where we kind of have gotten stuck. We came down and broke below the 30. We came back and retested the 30, and we got stuck inside this zone between coming back to the 7, coming back to the 30, and just now, if we did this show 10 minutes ago, I would have said we were right down here on the 7 on the 1 hour, but we've broken through the 30. I like it. I like it a lot. And this coincides, the 1 hour looks really perfect from all the other time frames. So if we come back and break the MRI, acceleration zone, fantastic. Rock it on. I will just go into the 15-minute time frame to finish it off. This is exactly the same. We came back and got above the 30, came back down, got above the 50, came back down to the 30. Look at this. Unbelievable. The 30 held it up, and now we're pressing through. Look, we're verging on putting in a higher local high here on the 15-minute. It's only 15-minute, but it's what you want to see. And this is why earlier in the day, when I'm looking at the 15-minute, which I really have come to admire the 15-minute time frame, as I turn off the MRI. Now, before, if I wasn't using alphanumerics, I would have been really concerned at 96,000. Okay, because I'm in this great trade from 93. It's just been all rally, right? And then we get below the moving averages. We come back and retest the breakout point. We drop down. Imagine this is a higher time frame. And when we were here at 96, there was actually a part of me that's like, all right, I'm calling this trade. Fine. Okay. It's a great trade. I made, 0.1 Bitcoin on the trade. Fantastic. In one day, excellent. I'll take that any day of the week. But the fact is that we got this green star, the green diamond, sorry, on alphanumerics. It gave me a minute. Just wait, Matt. Just wait a second and see if we can at least rally off it. Maybe it'll bounce back up to and retouch on the 30 or something, but I'll close it. But I was able to stay in it a little bit longer, and now it's looking really good again. So for me, I might end up when I go to bed tonight setting my stop loss down at say 96. See if I can, because if it breaks it, then yeah, maybe that trade I'll take the profit on it. But just by having that green star on alphanumerics, links in the description below for 30% off, it gave me a second to pause and see if, well, we have dropped, maybe we'll stay in it. And I'm glad I did, right? That's like that, just having that green diamond is an extra, 7% for me on that trade because I'm 10x leverage long. Fantastic, right? So we'll see how that goes. BangBox, which had a fantastic trade overnight. We mentioned this in the show yesterday, and I realized what had happened on that trade. It had hit the callback, right? So yes, that was out of the trade last night because it broke through our target zone. It has a trailing stop in place, but as soon as we break through the target, it reverts to a callback, and we came down and closed the trade out on a fantastic 18%er. Great. It has, of course, reset right now, having closed below the 128 moving average. So we're locked and loaded here to get on another BangBox trade. Links in the description below for the free trading bot. And finally, God, I thought this was going to be a quick show, but there's so much to talk about on my end. This is the last thing I'll say. So Tone's MRI, or black boxes, Tone Vase inspired MRI bot is still in its trade and looking really good. The entry was back down at 94. Fantastic. Let's rocket this on and see if we can get a real good swing trade out of this. I would love to see a massive win in this trade. Tone, I'm coming back to you right now. I feel all right. Feel all right going into the weekend, mate. And I can't wait to hear what you have to say. Please like and subscribe, share it with your friends. And Tone, take it away.
Sure. Well, you're actually about to hear the complete opposite
Good.
of
Perfect.
everything you
That's what
said.
I like.
So, look, the weekly chart, let's go slow here. The weekly chart is on a red 3, so we are in a downtrend. We're not going to get a price flip next candle. So next candle will not be a green 1 unless we rally all the way and start challenging all-time highs. So we're probably going to get that red 4. And this is creating that situation where we are consolidating. And while this consolidation at first glance would make me bullish, I am still concerned of the breaking below that 92. The real problem is I'm not really talking about the 4-day chart anymore. I'm probably going to retire this chart and I'm going to do things differently. The real problem is the daily chart. This is as classic of a dead cat bounce as you get with a textbook. It's actually too clean. And I drew these arrows 4 or 5 days ago, and I said, hey, you should pray for a bounce back into the death cross so you can get out right here before the potential catastrophe begins. And I actually got out a little bit earlier because I didn't want to hold positions through New Year's. Otherwise, I would have just held them. But I would be getting out today if I didn't get out yesterday. And I know we're bullish right now, but market hasn't opened yet. And at 10 a.m. this morning, if we are in this vicinity of 97 and change, in this vicinity, I'm actually considering going short. I really, really am. This has nothing to do with the MRI. This is, you don't get a trade like this very often. If it was happening in the other direction, I would be super bullish. But if it's happening in this way, I have to be bearish here. Like this is literally, I spent 30 minutes on this exact thing in my trading course that I was doing, since 2016, 17, whatever it was. It's on video. Those of you that took my trading course, I literally discussed this exact situation. This is textbook for me for a shorting opportunity. Okay. And I know we're rallying right now this morning. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I want to jump in because this is a trading show. I hear what you're saying, brother. Look at that. What's that high moving average? Is that a 20?
It's a 20 versus 50.
All right. So look at the 20. Look how we came and touched the 20. And look how we almost did it again. If you could enter a trade, a short position, and like set a short position off that 20, I totally agree with you because the distance every trade I want to enter, it's exactly the same every time. It doesn't matter what the entry price is. I don't care about it. I don't care if it's a $150,000 Bitcoin or if it's a $5,000 Bitcoin. The same thing has to appear to me is where is my stop loss going to be? Where can I admit I'm wrong? And a trade like that is mouth-watering to a short because that basically where the top of your box is where you could put your stop loss. So I can get big. I can get big and not risk the farm on a short position because I can say I was wrong relatively quickly. Do you agree with that statement, Tone?
Normally that's what I would do. Normally I would go, extra leverage on a short and keep my stop tight. Unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it, in this case, you have 4 levels of resistance that span all the way into 100K. So in this particular case, because there is so much resistance above your head, I would do it in the other direction. Normally, I would like my short trades in Bitcoin would be like high leverage, quick in and out, scalp trades. Hey, if I'm right for like 2-3 days, that's great. So I can go high leverage, tight stop loss. But this is not that kind of setup. This is a setup for a multi-month short. I mean, that's how ugly this chart looks, right? So this is almost the reverse. This is one of those, I'm gonna enter a short trade with low leverage, and my stop is gonna be at like 100, above 100K. But this is kind of a swing short trade. This is at a high level short trade. Like look what happened right here. This was a snapback rally into the 20 period moving average. Even the green star and the MRI was useless against this, right? It was like the classic head and shoulderish pattern, and just ran into the moving average. Now it's identically the same thing, but it's a lot bigger resistance. Now it's not just the 20 period, it's also the 50 period, which is a bigger resistance. Now there is another high above it, so you need to break that high as well. And momentum is now kind of to the downside. You know, like how much more can Michael Saylor buy? So this is really shaping up. Just looking at this daily chart, the only thing we need to look at is the ditch. I'm going to drop the annotations here for a minute just to make it a bit cleaner. And the other thing we can do is we could make these lines super, like, you know, like thicker, right? So it's one of the things that I also teach in my class is when you draw your trend lines, you can draw them as very, very thick lines. You can go even thicker than this. It's just so it's clear what kind of serious resistance it is. And then you can like do the order of operations where you can put it kind of in front. How do I do that actually? Anyway, I can put it like in front of the candles.
Bless you.
Had to sneeze. And now you can kind of see it clearer how important these moving averages are. And like whenever the price I'm allergic to something here. Whenever the price like pulls into a death cross, it's it's hard to even find an example of how strong of a resistance this is. And I have some examples when I teach my course,
I
but
think
this
there
is
was
just
one.
so
I think there was
rare.
one. There was one recently. Like go close to the current price. You scooted past one, which was perfect actually. Uh, yeah. Go back and then just go back slightly into like there. I mean, there, right there on the on April. See how it came back up and retested the beautifully.
Oh,
Yeah.
right here, right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, good catch. Good catch. Yeah, it's right here, but it's even worse than that, right? It's going right into here. I mean, this is I mean, you can Google this, right? Like pull back into a death cross. Like these are classic situations. Like here's a perfect example right here of what is going on with Bitcoin right now. Where is the picture? Here it is. Right? Like there it is. Like this is we're even cleaner than this, but it's something similar. And here's another example. I have to open my course. So here's a good one. I think it's the same one. There's the same one actually. Like here, it's a classic example of pulling into a death cross. It just has disaster written all over it. Like, look, I hope I'm wrong. I really am. But this is the situation we're in right now. And it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
But
And I'm trying to,
you're not
yeah.
going to be wrong. It does if it just bursts through the moving averages, it's not wrong. It's trading is about, trying to get a 51% advantage on over the market, like it's a prudent call to make, Tone. It seriously is. That's a serious call. And I
Like
agree.
if I go to my course, where is it? TA trading, and there it is. Right, like we can find it there. Like I'll show you the real example that I used to use. Gotta be like back here somewhere. Moving
Yeah,
averages are
that looks like
happening.
the
Right?
price
So
right
that
there.
was the one section I didn't update. Like here it is. It was just old pictures, right? So it's here. It's coming. There. Like this is literally in my trading course right here, where you pull into the def cross and you short. You pull into the def cross and you short. Here's a real life example of a stock I used to trade. You pull into the def cross right here, and look what happened. So I can't avoid this. Like I have to take this unreasonably seriously.
The price is rocketing right now too. We're at 97,100.
Yeah, so I'd wait till 10 a.m. and see what happens here, because I would be amazed if we break this high right now. Like we can go up here a little bit. I mean, there's some variation here, but it doesn't look good. Plus, you have this 4 hour. You could get a green star candle on the 4 hour chart in an hour and a half, but I'm gonna take the under on that. This is gonna be an hour. This will be at 11 a.m. is when the candle flips, and I think a high is gonna be made before 11 a.m. here.
I'll
I
take the
just
I'll take the over. Let's look at let's screenshot this for Monday on the 4 hour time frame. I think that we're about to break out. And but Tone, if I'm wrong, it makes total sense too. So like I'm not holding this
right. I'm
position, but
gonna
I'm not holding my position below 96, but I'm gonna let it rock above.
okay. I'm gonna put a line right here because I am skeptical we're gonna break 97 and a half.
I think we will.
All right, let's see.
Let's
I'm
see.
gonna put it right there, and I'll put my arrow, and I'll screenshot this and shoot it off to you right now. Then we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Love it.
There you go.
The comment
Okay.
section will be on my side because it's Bitcoin up.
Screenshotting. All right, I'm gonna shoot off to you literally right now before I forget.
Good man. Let's look at it Monday.
Oh, all right. And yeah, so that's kind of my opinion right now. Of course, our opinion can change. I also have to go diving again, so I may not be around to enter that trade. I got to check out of where I am right now, 10 a.m. So I don't know if I'm going to enter this. Like I'm not going to be in front of the market today, so it's like I don't know, scary to enter trades when you're not in front of the market. Okay, real quick, oil. That is my most bullish asset for the foreseeable future, as I've been saying for a couple of weeks now. And gold is kind of neutral, but it's in the same shitty position as Bitcoin. I don't have my moving average up on gold, but I'm sure they don't. Oh, yeah, there it is. Oh, it's terrible. Look at that. Horrible. Horrible. Same as Bitcoin. S&P looks very shaky right here. Very, very shaky. I don't like it. Oh, I wonder how Tesla's doing after the whole Cybertruck blowing up and everything. Well, bomb going off in a Cybertruck. Dude, so I haven't had time to even dig into that insanity. And I don't know. I'm just enjoying the peacefulness of underwater living. And people are asking about MSTR. You know, it would be interesting. MSTR's support is down at 180 bucks. I would love to pick up MSTR at 180 bucks. That would be a pullback of 65%. That would be awesome. Okay. Now, the equivalent price on Bitcoin is 71, but I don't think it's going to go down that far, right? Because look, Bitcoin is down from its high. Right now, Bitcoin is down from its high 10%. Okay. MicroStrategy is down from its high 42%.
Wow.
Right. So, yeah.
Wow.
All right. And I think it's so from 42%, it's already down 42%. So in total, MSTR needs to go down 65%. So it's already fallen more than it will to get to here, right? Now, let's say MSTR falls the exact same amount in addition to what it already fell, right? And it takes us down to here. that means Bitcoin only needs to fall 10 more percent, right? So where does that lead Bitcoin for a low? Well, Bitcoin, it's a little unfair because Bitcoin is up a bit, right? So another 10% takes Bitcoin down to 85,000, still significantly above the consolidated highs. MicroStrategy, however, could fall to 200. So I think at 200, MicroStrategy is an awesome buy opportunity around 200. I think
Yeah,
that would be great.
it is an
Uh,
it is an awesome buy if you believe in Bitcoin's upside in the next 6 months or so. Do you know, like
correct,
or 10 years
correct,
for that matter. Do you know, it's an
correct.
awesome buy.
Tesla hit an MRI weekly top earlier this week. So that was what about the daily chart? Yeah, so this is where things fall apart for assets. They fall apart for assets when they break their prior swing lows. Things tend to go to shit because right here we didn't break the prior low, and here we didn't make the prior low, and here we didn't break the prior low, right? And here we didn't break the prior low, right? Because the lows are like you can say that was a low that we didn't break, and that was a low that we never broke. So it's been a long time since Tesla broke a prior low. You need to go all the way to here. This is where Tesla broke a prior low, and then it couldn't break the prior high, and then we broke the prior low, and then we couldn't break the prior high, and you get this bad cycle until it eventually reverses, and you make a higher high. Boom, you broke the higher high, and hey, we didn't break the lower low, and the picture just reversed again. You know, like we broke a low, we broke to a new low. So that's concerning. You still have some support down here, but Tesla is not looking very good. And there's your weekly chart on Tesla. A bit more of a pullback coming. So I am going to be bearish across the board here. MicroStrategy, Tesla, and even Bitcoin. I mean, look, the chart looks bullish. The shorter the time frame, the more bullish it looks. But when you zoom out, even the weekly is a little bit, you know, the weekly doesn't look bearish from a chart perspective. It only looks bearish from an MRI perspective, but no red star yet. We can actually avoid a red star. If we don't get a red star next week, there will never be a red star, but we can still make it to an MRI bi-weekly. I would, in my perfect world, we get an MRI weekly at 85,000. That's it. Sometime by the end of January, setting off a nice, you know, February, March bull run. That could be massive, you know. Maybe Bitcoin falls to the low 80s, and then suddenly the Trump administration announces they're going to buy some Bitcoin, and then we go from 80 to 180 pretty quickly.
Yeah,
But
I just
yeah,
keep thinking about what you said in today's show. But I could really see myself talking myself into the idea of closing this position out in 0.15 profit and shorting with a stop
I
loss.
mean, look, I would wait for 10 a.m. and then I would just tighten up my stop loss.
Mm,
AMD was actually looking pretty ugly this morning, but it's looking okay. So AMD is having a tough time recovering off its MRI top. Now remember, AMD made so MRI buy opportunity. AMD made its low. If you look at the daily chart, it made its low with the MRI within a candle or two of daily. It made its low on December 20th with the MRI daily, weekly, monthly. Now, if you look at the stock market, even if we go look at the NASDAQ, for example, so remember, it's starting to reverse off of the 20th. If you look at the NASDAQ, so let's do NDX, that's the last thing I'm going to say. And if we look at December 20th, here it is, right? The NASDAQ is actually just made a brand new low. This today's candle is probably yesterday's candle. So the stock market made a brand new low yesterday. So AMD is holding up better than NDX, and AMD has been a weak stock. Like AMD has been crashing for like a year, right? And NASDAQ's been going up. So it's like struggling against the tide here. I think if the market reverses, AMD can really skyrocket. But if the market is struggling and the market is going down, the fact that AMD is treading water and surviving and is not, dying is a good sign. So I'm not in the AMD trade anymore. Like I said, I exited all my positions. I am in cash. So I'm just gonna wait till next week before I enter anything. But I'm still eyeing AMD for a potential significant recovery. But again, I'm swimming against the tide here. I want to wait until the stock market recovers. I mean, it's great when you find the perfect trade with the MRI, but if you're fighting the overall market trend, it's not going to be a great trade, right? So I would hold off on that. Okay. And on that note, I'm curious how much Bitcoin was purchased yesterday on the first day of the month. And we're down. Wow, look at that. More selling than buying. Interesting. BlackRock was the biggest casualty of the first day of the year. Interesting. Didn't see that coming. Okay. That's it for me. Let's keep an eye on this. We're already reversing back to the downside. Let's look at the 1 hour. Let's look at the 10-minute.
Can you go to
here it is. Market opened right there.
Can you go to the 15-minute time frame for a second and just turn on alphanumerics and turn off your moving averages? I just want to show something really clearly. Yeah, that's not out for there. 15-minute, mate. Yeah, 15-minute. That's because you've got this, you've changed the settings. I see. You're missing moving averages on this chart. All good. But all good. It just came back down. I'll give me the screen share for a second. I'll show you. I'll show you.
Do I not have moving averages turned off or something?
Yeah, I reckon that's, yeah, there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bang. All right, cool. I mean, this is just classic. Look at this. The new candle. We had the kickoff candle come back and retest the 50.
Wow, we're rallying back up, yeah.
Rallying back up. Awesome. Like people get over it. People get too long, and then the exchanges or whoever else, the shorters go bang. But that recovery off that 50, it's beautiful. It's what you want to see.
Yeah, no, it's great. But again, right, this is why I never trade in the first minutes of market open, because of things like this. They're completely unpredictable. This could have gone in the opposite direction. But at 10 a.m., things are predictable. And I think we can easily rally. But I'm a little skeptical on breaking 97.5. But 10 a.m. is more important. So even if we break to, let's say, 97.9 and break the new high here, as long as it's doing it before 10 a.m., I'm still going to be very skeptical. In fact, the higher it goes this morning, the more likely I am to, take a stab at that short position. Because remember, my stop loss is going to be just above 100. So the closer we get to 100 before I short, the tighter my stop loss is.
Yeah, but if we clear those moving averages on the daily, then I think that and get the green star and everything, I think you should abandon ship on the short.
Yeah. The thing is, I hate trying to time a reversal. I hate trying to catch a falling knife. I almost never do it. And if you try to do it to the short side, that's even 5 times harder than trying to do it to the upside, right?
Yes.
Like shorting a rally in Bitcoin is a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah,
and I think this is the first time I'm talking about it in years. Because I haven't seen something like this in years. It's as textbook as it gets. And I don't know, we'll see if Tone is right. But I am strongly considering kicking off this year with a short trade, which is the mother of all contrarian positions.
Yeah, and as you say, like trying to catch a falling knife is hard. Trying to short a pumping Bitcoin is worse. I short, maybe 1 in 10 trades is a short, but it's always like when the bottom's falling out rather than like on this kind of situation. But I'll just stay in my long, see what happens. 96,000 stop loss. Maybe I'll raise that to 96,500 and then just sit and wait. Go to bed.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. We're gonna leave you here. Oh, this was the diving I went. This is the dive I did yesterday. If anyone's here in Miami, this was so fucking cool. It's actually a cemetery where people choose to, get cremated, and then they bring their remains down and they put them in something like this, and it's an artificial reef that's designed for people that choose to, have their final resting place underwater, for divers to like dive down and like, just use their gloves to like clean the plaque. It's actually one of the more cooler dive sites I've ever done, and I've only been to like 8 dives,
It's
but it
really
looks like this underwater.
wow.
Well, that's more of a I think that's a rendering, but that's what they meant to create. Obviously, it looks more like this.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, so many huge barracudas there. It's great. I don't remember seeing these gates. This I must have missed somehow. I also missed a giant bull shark, but that's okay. It's probably a good thing I missed it. Last thing you want to do is panic underwater. But uh, but yeah, it's such a cool dive site. It's also out in the middle of the ocean a bit, so it's yeah, super cool,
Awesome.
super cool. I gotta get a underwater camera. I have like no footage of any of this. All right,
All
bye
right.
guys. It's called Neptune. It's right there. Neptune Memorial Reef.
Do you know who Neptune is? The Greek god, Neptune.
Yeah, it's like Neptune and Poseidon, or the Greek and Roman gods. Yeah.
There it is. All right. Have a wonderful weekend. And I think Bitcoin will rally. We'll see what happens. And so thank you for joining. Happy New Year. That's the last time I'll say it.
Oh yeah, it's also Bitcoin's birthday, so happy birthday. I think it's birthday number 16.
16.